Welcome, everyone, to the Tabitha Polaris Show podcast. This is episode 49. I cannot believe it. 50 is next week. We're going to have a big party. I'm going to invite all my favorite guests to return, and we'll have a big party for 50. So, on today's show, we have Benedict Beaumont here. He is the founder of the Breathing Space, and we are going to discuss transformational breath work. So I'm going to play the intro. We're live streaming. So welcome everyone who tuned in, and hello to everyone listening to the recorded audio on all podcast platforms. So I'll give everyone a minute to hop onto the live stream and share the link with anyone that might be interested in learning more about transforming your life with breath work. And after the intro, we'll get started.
Welcome. I am so grateful you are here. Let's expand our consciousness. Information leads to transformation. Open your heart, open your mind. We're on this ascension ride. It's an honor to bring this information to you. This is the Tabytha Polaris Show.
Okay, so let me tell you about today's special guest. I'm so excited to have this beautiful soul with us today to teach us how to transform our lives. Benedict Beaumont is a breathwork facilitator, yoga teacher, and founder of the Breathing Space. He's passionate about bringing breathwork out to the world, especially those who wouldn't normally have access to it. Benedict runs transformational workshops and life-changing retreats internationally. It is his mission to train as many people as possible in the power of breathwork to spread the spark of transformation. Welcome to the show.
Tabytha, thank you. It is a huge honor to be here.
I don't know where to begin. Let's explain to everyone first what breathwork is and why it's so transformational.
Well, I've got a suggestion, Tabytha. Rather than
Okay.
explaining and talking about it, why don't we just do a very short, very simple breath exercise together? And
Okay.
all we are going to do is take some breaths together.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. Everyone join along with us.
Thank you.
Yes.
And can you feel what a difference that makes?
Yes.
It
It's
does.
unbelievable. It just centers you and balances you and quiets everything. You can really tap into your physical and emotional and spiritual body. It's very relaxing.
And even more than that, it connects us. It
Mm.
connects us with our truest, wisest self. It connects us with our body. But also, Tabytha, I feel more connected to you now. I feel
Oh,
present with you. I feel
yes.
also with all the people watching this who may be live, and also if you're watching this on catch up, I actually feel connected to you now as well. I start all my meetings and all my interviews, pretty much every conversation I have with someone, even if they're not into breath work or they're totally separate from that kind of wellness world, everyone understands how special it is just taking a breath together. We all share the same air. And when we acknowledge that, when we take a breath together, it connects us.
Wow. If you're listening live or watching live, please comment in the chat, ask questions. We'll respond at the end. And that was very powerful. I'm into meditation, I'm into sound healing, I'm into energy work. And I think it's such a good way to even just start your day. You know,
Mm.
we always just roll out of bed and start running around. And imagine if we all started the day with just a few breaths, it would probably change the whole day, would it not?
It would. It wouldn't just change if you did it in the morning. It would change every moment that you lived if you
Mm.
consciously breathed. I call breathwork meditation for those people who can't meditate. And goodness knows there's lots of people, if you ask them, will say, oh yeah, I tried meditation, I couldn't do it.
Mm.
I can't do it. My
Now,
mind's just too busy. But
why do
breathwork,
people feel like
everyone can do
they're
that.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just curious, why do you think people think their mind has to be quiet to meditate?
That it's a really great question actually, because that answer is like someone who is really filthy saying, "I'm too dirty to have a shower."
Yeah,
It just, the people who say, "I can't meditate, my mind is too busy," actually need meditation or breath work or something more than anyone else.
true.
It's a great question though, and I think my answer to it is because meditation has been missold or misadvertised a little bit. People think that it's actually really difficult and it takes lots of discipline and you have to get up early in the morning, maybe sit in a very uncomfortable position, perhaps go and live in a cave for 7 years. But
True.
really, what if meditation or breath work was easy? What if it was fun? What if it was just like taking a stroll with a best friend through a beautiful garden? And then everyone would say, oh yeah, I do meditation, I love it, rather than this kind of really kind of slightly boring, slightly worthy thing that we have to do to make ourselves better, which is work. What if it was just a gentle stroll with a good friend?
Mm. You also said something very interesting and important about being present in the moment. That's something that
Mhm.
I align with too. Um, so, can you explain a little bit more? I mean, there's breath work and then there's conscious breath work.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and thank you for asking that. So, breathwork is a huge field. It's as big, really, maybe even bigger than something like yoga. And breathwork can be used for so many different things. It can be used for physical health and well-being. It can be used to enhance um, sport, for instance. It is one of the missing links, actually, that people don't talk about to improve performance. It can be used for emotional and mental well-being, especially if you are overwhelmed or anxious or stressed. It is
Mm.
astonishing for that. But then we come to something called conscious breath work, which is a particular um, niche of breath work, which can transform people in just a few breaths. It is like the rocket fuel of not just breath work, but of transformational practices, because it is free, it is available at any time, and everyone, even those people who say they can't meditate, can definitely breathe.
Now, what are the benefits?
Well, the benefits of conscious breath work. Let's
Yeah.
focus on that because for me,
Yes.
that is mainly what I facilitate. That is what
Yes.
I love facilitating because you can see extraordinary changes in people in just a very, very short time. So I'm going to talk about conscious breath work and what
Perfect.
it can be like. So Tabitha, if I asked you, or if I said to you, you have something within you that can change your life in just a few breaths, would you want to know a little bit more?
Yes. Yes, please.
Uh, well, let's talk about that then. And
Okay.
how can it change you and why can it change you? Well, I mentioned at the beginning of your show how breath work connects us. And it connects us to that space in ourselves, that wisest, highest, truest space. But let's be honest, how disconnected we are in our everyday life.
Mm.
How, how we distract ourselves. We distract ourselves with obvious things like watching TV, but we distract ourselves with other things like worrying about our family or our friends, with things that we cannot change. The wheels of our mind just go everywhere. And instead of connecting with that part of ourselves, that guru within inside of us, we open the doors to the inner critic, the slave driver. We let someone else grab the wheels of the bus of our life, and we get lost. And so breath work for me connects us to that wisest, truest, highest space within just a few breaths. And we get to feel what we need to feel. We get to realize what it is we need to realize. Now, every time breath work is different for every person. And the reason for that is because our bodies truly are very wise. They know what they need to heal and transform. But we don't listen to our bodies most of the time. We are off doing something that we think we should be doing. When we do a breath work, first of all, we're giving ourselves the space and time to really feel, to really know, really go inside. But more than that, with breath work, we are giving our bodies the rocket fuel, the energy, the power that it needs to really actually do something. Does that kind of answer some of your question?
Yeah. I want to talk before we get into how to do it, or maybe you could show us an example. I was
Mm.
wondering, like, who invented this? What is the history of this breath work? Because there's breath work, and then there's um, you said conscious breath work is what you do. So I was wondering, is that something that you developed, or is this something you learned?
Great question. Another really good question. So breathwork, in one form or another, has been around since, well, since we were breathing. You know,
Okay.
millions and millions of years. And I suspect there, you know, breathwork as a tool has been going back to, you know, very prehistoric times. But it has been very present in some of the wisdom lineages. So in yoga or pranayama or
Yes.
Ayurveda, and also in the traditional Chinese medicine. You know, we have a record of a lineage going back that for thousands of years as well. And conscious breath work will have formed um, some part of those practices. But the form that it was developed and really came to prominence comes from a slightly different place, to be honest. In the 1960s, a Harvard professor called Stanislav Grof, who was at the forefront of the LSD development, when that became illegal in the 1970s, he developed what he calls holotropic breathwork, um, which uses a connected technique, which is really what conscious breathwork is. It's a connected technique. At the same time, Leonard Orr developed rebirthing breathwork, which is a technique that he learned from one of the wisdom traditions in India. So those two are the really fathers of modern breathwork, Grof and Leonard Orr. So from the 1970s, really, they developed the technique. And then from that, beginning in the 1980s, there's all sorts of people who then took that and developed their own styles. Now, every conscious breath worker facilitates in a slightly different way, will set it up in a slightly different way. They will explain it differently, and they will have different instructions of how to breathe. Some will do it with music, some will not. Some allow or encourage movement, and some don't. Some encourage absolute silence. Some like to do it one-on-one. Some people do it in groups. So there is a lot of variation, but the core technique and the theory behind it was really developed in 1960s, 1970s by Stan Grof. Should we try it? I mean, I can talk about breathwork all
Yeah.
day, Tabytha,
No, I was
but I
just
would
curious.
love to.
Let's try it.
Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Before we do that, let's just talk about a couple of the small print, if you like. So I know that you're going to be having a lot of people listening to this. Please only do this if you are somewhere that you can be safe and undisturbed for sort of 5 minutes or so. Don't do this if you're driving a car. Don't do this if you're operating heavy machinery, and certainly not if you've been using any intoxicants of any style. So that's the first one. The second one, it is such a powerful and physically transformative experience. There are some contraindications. So if you suffer from a history of dissociation, for instance, bipolar or schizophrenia, Please only do this if you've had medical supervision or only through the nose. Again, if you have epilepsy, a history of strokes or heart conditions, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do this, but please just go very gently when we do this. Extremes of blood pressure, glaucoma, um, delicate pregnancy can all be contraindications. However, I will say this style of breathwork is so beneficial for almost all of these conditions. And I have breathed with people who have all of these things, and they found it very, very therapeutic, beneficial. But we do have to say a little warning that it shouldn't be done without a proper facilitator in a live. Now, we're just going to do this for a minute or two, and it's safe for everyone to do for a minute or two, um, as long as you're not trying to do anything else. I encourage this to be done lying down or sitting so you can be supported. And I think that's everything I need to say. Any questions before I demonstrate the technique and then we do a sort of minute or two breath work?
No, I'm just going to follow your lead on this. You're going to demonstrate first, and then I'll do it along with you.
That's right.
That sounds good.
Okay, well, let's just drop in first of why we might do breath work, why we might call in this amazing transformational power that we have. Now, I think breathwork is good for so many things, but I'm feeling called to just see, is there something that is holding you back at the moment? Is there something that you would like to let go of? Now, what we will do, we'll do a short meditation before we actually do the breath work, but we'll focus on those questions and then we'll start the breath work. Okay?
Sounds
And we'll
good.
do that for maybe a couple of minutes. We won't do it long, but let's do the technique first. You ready?
Ready.
And I have to just acknowledge here, Tabytha, it's when you're giving an interview, when you're the host of an interview, it's quite difficult to kind of just switch off for a little bit and to allow yourself to fully breathe. But I really encourage you to do this, because if you do this, all the people listening will get to experience this as well. So if it's possible, switch off the interviewer host side of your brain for a little bit. I've got you. I've got you
Okay.
safe here. Everything will be okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, so let's give ourselves a shake first. Let's shake your sillies out and wiggle your waggles away. If anyone's got little kids, they'll know that song. I've got a little 6-month-old daughter, and that's her
Aw.
favourite song at the moment. So, the technique, I teach conscious connected breathwork in 4 steps. Okay, now the first step is our mouth position. Let's open our mouth really wide. Okay, give your jaw a waggle. That's it, wider. You can do that as if you're biting an apple or you're visiting a dentist. Now, in a longer breath work for 30 minutes, you wouldn't be able to keep that mouth position. For a minute or two, you can. Okay, so that's step 1. Keep your mouth wide open, and let's keep it open for the rest of this demonstration. Now, let's start taking full body breaths into every part of your body. That's it, full body breaths. Closing your eyes, good. Now keep that going, Tabytha. Full body breaths, keep your mouth wide open. Now the third instruction is to keep your breath connected with no pauses at the top or the bottom. That's it. Keep going. Mouth wide, breath full, no pauses. As if it is a wave coming in and a wave leaving the shore. And finally, you pull on the inhale, but just let go on the exhale. Let your breath rush out of your body. Now let's take 5 breaths together. And one more breath. Now close your mouth. Breathe through your nose. Put some pauses on. And then when you feel ready, just blink your eyes open. Okay. Now, did you feel some physical sensations doing that?
Yes. So I'm used to breathing because I'm a singer. So I'm very connected to my breath. But what was interesting is I felt dizzy because you were connecting the breath with the inhales and the exhalation. So I feel a little dizzy.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit like buzzing, like my energy's buzzing. So I might have
Mm,
raised my vibration a bit or got things circulating physically. I'm not sure which one it is. You
yeah.
tell me.
All of those things.
Okay.
The physical sensations you will have will range from, you know, tingling to pins and needles to changes in temperature, energy buzzing around your body. You'll almost certainly get a sore throat, or a dry, sorry, not a sore throat, a
Yeah, my
dry
throat
throat.
was a little dry.
It's fine for a minute, and always your throat will self-lubricate, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, we're only going to breathe for about a minute or two, but you may also notice changes on an emotional level. You may start to feel things, and in a breathing space, we welcome in every emotion that it means to be human. So even the ones we don't allow ourselves to feel, like anger or fear or grief or disappointment or even rage, welcome those in, breathe with them, feel them fully, and breathe them away.
I have a
Okay?
quick question. Do
Sure.
you set an intention before each breathing session, or is it just you dive right in, or?
Well, great question. Now, I almost always do. Not all the time, but I almost always do. And we'll have a very quick one today about, is there something that you would like to let go of?
Mm,
Is there something that is holding you back? But really, our bodies know what they need. This
okay.
breathwork is a process of empowerment because it is trusting that you have all the answers inside you already. My role as a facilitator is just to make a space, give you the tools, and then get out of the way because it is you that has the answers that you need, not me. The
I have
breath will
another
give
quick
you all the
question. What is the purpose of keeping your mouth open that wide? Is it to get as much breath into your body as possible?
yeah. It is. So generally, not always, but the wider you open the mouth, the deeper you and quicker your experience. Not always. But if you just think about it, if you open your mouth wide like that, you get the opportunity to breathe in so much more air. And air is like energy, it's like
Mm.
prana, that will fill our body. So for a short time, for a minute or two, it is fine to open your mouth and breathe. Generally, only breathe through your nose. And some of the practices that we do, we actually tape our mouth so you can only breathe through your nose. But for a short period, doing a breath exercise like this is absolutely fine to just breathe through your mouth. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so let's just give yourself a shake again, and then just close your eyes and just feel where you are being supported. Feel where you're sitting. Feel where your feet are and your hands. Feel your body rise and fall as you breathe. Feel your chest expand. Feel the air against your skin. And feel the air enter and leave your body through your nostrils, cooler on the way in. And then on an inhale, take your awareness inside to that still, quiet place within, where your wisest and highest self resides. That patient, calm, loving part of you that has all the answers, that knows everything that you need. And we're just going to take a few breaths there, in that place of wisdom and that place of love. Now let's ask a question of ourselves in that space. Is there something holding you back? Is there something you would like to let go of? And that might be an emotion. It might be a pattern of behavior. It might be something that you do in your life, a relationship. It might be something at work. Is there something that you would like to let go of? Is there something that is holding you back? Feel what that might be. An emotion, a behavior, a relationship, something you do. Now let's begin our breath work. Open your mouth wide, really wide. Start taking full body breaths. That's it. Keep your mouth wide, keep your breath full. Go at your own depth, to your own pace, in and out. Keeping your breath connected with no pauses at the top and no pauses at the bottom. Like waves coming in and waves leaving the shore. Full, deep, beautiful breaths. Is there something that is holding you back? What would that be? An emotion, pattern of behavior, a relationship, or something you do. Now feel fully what that is. Feel it in your body. How does it make you feel? Really feel that as you breathe. Let yourself feel it fully. And then breathe it out. Let it go. Feel it leaving your body. We are going to take 5 more breaths together and really feel it leaving your body. And last one. Now close your mouth. Breathe through your nose. What did you feel in that very short breath work? Just feel what you were given there. What were the messages that came through? What did your body realize? And then when you're ready, just gently blink your eyes open. Come back to the room and take your hands and just very gently start tapping on your chest, tapping on your shoulders, maybe on your neck and your head. Just physically bring yourself back into the room and then tapping on your face. Tap your fingers together and then your palms. And bring your hands to a prayer. Because I want to acknowledge, Tabytha, and everyone who is listening, how special it is to allow ourselves to breathe and allow ourselves to feel everything. When we give ourselves permission to do this, we will be given permission to everyone else around us as well. A moment and a chance to just let go of that heavy burden of the masks that we have to wear. So thank you, Tabytha. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
breathing. Thank you for allowing yourself to feel. Now, at the end of a breath work, we always have a chance to just share a little about our experience, because it will help integrate it for us, but it will also help other people as well. Is there something that you would like to share, Tabytha? Would you like to be witnessed from that very short breath work that we did?
Sure. The challenge in the beginning was I have TMJ, so I was trying to ignore that pain from keeping my mouth open.
Sure.
And then I tried to ignore the thoughts of, oh, I look silly. We're live streaming. People are going to take screenshots of me with my mouth open. And I'm like, I don't care, because you know what? It's more important to hold the space for healing and teaching. And so that was how I started. And then once I got into the breath work, I felt um, I decided that I want to let go of the physical weight, which is something, I don't know, was that a correct
Mm.
thing to choose? Is that
There's
okay?
no right and wrong with this,
Yeah,
Tabytha. There's
it's
no
just something
wrong.
I struggle with. And I'm eating healthy and exercising, and I've worked on all the emotional and physical things with doctors for many years. So I don't understand, why I struggle with that, but I asked to let it go. And I don't need the extra weight. And yeah, I just said I don't need the extra weight. I want to be healthy, and I want to feel, you know, good in clothes again, and you know, be that beautiful divine feminine for me. I don't care what anyone
Mm.
else thinks. I want to be healthy and be able to feel good physically.
Wow. Let's just take a breath with that. I want to be healthy. I want to feel good, not for anyone else, for me. Let's just honor that with a breath together.
Okay.
Wow. That's incredible to hear, Tabytha, because that will be inspirational for so many people. Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable. First of all, in the camera, allowing yourself to do something silly, but also what you shared. That is such a powerful message. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and to be seen and really seen, and I just acknowledge that for many people is a hard thing to say, to feel vulnerable about, you know, having extra weight. And goodness knows I'm in the same camp as well. This is the same messages for me. I
Yeah.
would love to be healthy and to feel good and to lose some of this weight that I have as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for naming that. I really, really want to thank you for that.
Aw, well, thank you for holding the space for us today with that beautiful exercise. And I want to just, honor everyone that participated, because when when a group of people do things together, whether you're doing this on the replay or you're participating live, it's very powerful when you pray or meditate or do anything together. That collective energy doing something together is very
Mhm.
powerful. So whatever you let go, we're all holding space together to help each other let go and transform together with so
We
much
really,
love and light.
yeah,
Okay,
really,
now that
really agree with that. Thank you.
I know that I'm supposed to say I am healthy, I am thin, but I wanted to express what I heard in my head during the breath work. So just being honest.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
And really honest and
Yeah.
heartfelt, and that is what needed to be said.
So, do you have like 5 more minutes? Because I had a few more
Mm,
questions.
of course.
Okay. Um, let's see if I'm buzzing from that exercise. So hopefully my brain will keep working.
Sure it will.
Um,
After a breath work, by the way, I often feel like a genius because it works on a mental
yeah,
level. I get inspiration. I see
yeah,
solutions to problems. I get ideas for things to do. And, I think, is this what Einstein felt like? It doesn't last,
true.
but, it's a good time
Yeah,
to
and
ask questions.
as a I wanted to ask you another question, but if anyone participating live, if you want to enter any of any express anything in the chat, please do from that experience. Um, how the heck did you get into this? I mean, I'm just curious. Was there a life event? And I have one more question, so maybe you could tell us like a quick little summary of how you got into this.
I will. I have been. I There's no easy way I can answer that question, but Tabitha, I was searching for many years for a purpose in my life, and I've been through meditation. I was, 7 years on a meditation cushion studying Buddhism and Dharma. I was 14 years on a yoga mat, sweating myself into difficult positions. I trained to be a yoga teacher. I was a high school teacher, and I was in the business of being that inspirational figure to many kids in deprived areas in the UK where I'm from. But it wasn't until I tried my first breathwork in 2014 in Ubud and Bali. And by that point, I thought I knew quite a lot. I thought I was well on my path to enlightenment and to liberation and all that. And I met a guy and he said, have you heard of breathwork? And I was like, yeah, sure. I know what that is. A nice bit of nostril breathing, some calming techniques. And then I did an hour's breathing session. We did 2 minutes. Imagine what it's like if you do an hour set to music in a room full of people going crazy. And I was like, within 5 breaths, everyone around me was going crazy. I hope it's okay to say ape shit, but I had someone on one side having a full body orgasm, someone on the other side screaming like they were being stabbed, someone over the other room was laughing hysterically like they'd been told the biggest cosmic joke. And I was like, all right, this happened within a minute. What is going on here? And my second thought was, I need to learn how to do this. And so I did.
It was
It
an
was in that moment,
extreme.
yeah, I found my purpose, within 5 minutes. I had been looking for a long time. I'd had several midlife crises and breakthroughs and changed my life completely. So I was on a path already and I was open for it. But I found and I knew immediately, and I have seen other people have that same effect many times as well.
Wow. So I want you to tell everyone about your offerings, what you do, how you support people through this journey, and just a little bit more about what you offer. So if they wanted to go to your website, which I will put on the bottom of the screen on the chat, it's makesomebreathingspace.com. Tell us a little bit about, that
Well, I
first
do.
step into working with you and
Well, I
learning.
am absolutely passionate. It is my, purpose in life as well as my profession, but I'm really passionate about what I do. I want breathwork to go as far as it possibly can in the world. Breathwork is a tool, but what it does, it connects people so quickly and so easily, so accessibly. There is no arcane stuff, words or language you have to learn, no difficult rituals. It is something easy and accessible, and it can go places that I haven't even imagined. So, what do I do on Make Some Breathing Space? Well, the first thing is I offer at the moment 4 free online workshops a week. They're called our online breathing spaces and we offer them in multiple time zones. We have one on Tuesday evenings at 8:30 p.m. EST. So anyone in your time zone, Tabitha, can come along on Tuesday. We have a great one tomorrow. This is run by my colleague Lisa, who is a breathing space teacher. Um, I run one on Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific time. For those on the west coast of North America, can come and join that one. That's a new one. So that's really small and intimate. That's an amazing one. But we offer ones on European time as well on Thursdays and Tuesdays. So we have a lot of live breathworks. And if you want to experience something that can change your life within a few breaths, please come along to one of our weekly free breathworks. But I also offer training courses. There's a free introductory course that you can take to breathwork called Take a Breath, which teaches you 5 amazing techniques, which will in half an hour really enhance your life. And if you feel called to go deeper, I have a foundation course, which is a 4-week exploration of the deepest breathworks, including conscious breathwork. And if you really feel called, and I knew within my first few breaths that I would become a facilitator, I offer facilitator training as well.
Beautiful. Well, if you have any final comments or anything else to share, think about your final comments. I just want to again mention your website, makesomebreathingspace.com. When did you create Breathing Space? Because you're the founder. What year?
2018.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank you very much.
exciting.
Yeah.
You're doing
And
beautiful work for the world. And this
thank
is
you,
a
Tabytha.
unique offering. I like that this is something I haven't heard of before, and it's very powerful.
It is. And what
I'm
I'll do,
buzzing still.
you will,
I'm
and
buzzing.
it can take a while to integrate. What I will also do, Tabytha, I'm going to give you and all your listeners a discount code for our foundation course, so we'll give them 50% off. Normally it's
Oh,
$100, and I want to make it available, so you'll get a code. It's actually podcast 50, all capitals. You can use that, and you'll get a 50% discount on my foundation course. Um, what are my final words? Well, until I was, in my mid 40s, I was just a high school teacher, you know, who was a bit detached from his job, disillusioned with what I was doing and burnt out. And then I discovered breathwork. And in 3 years, my life has changed completely. I now run an international breathwork school. I have, I think, 60 or 70 facilitators that I've trained. I breathe thousands of people all over the world. How did that happen? And it's been fun. It's been easy. It's been like a gentle stroll with a good friend. And if like just a Johnny nobody Englishman from England teaching can do something like that, I want to tell all of your listeners that they can walk this path as well. They can do something incredible because they are incredible. They could host their own show like you, Tabytha. They could start a school. Everything that you want to do is possible. And that is the message I would like to give to people. It's a message of hope. It's a message that you can be exactly who you want to be, who you were meant to be. It is available for everyone.
beautiful. Thank you so much for that discount code. I will put that information in the description of this video as well as the podcast app descriptions so everyone can use that, and as well as the link to your website. Um, I am going to be buzzing for a while, so I should go home and start writing some songs or do something really productive for the universe because I feel energy flowing through me. It's a really neat feeling, and thank you for all sharing all your wisdom. And may this podcast bring you many blessings in your life as well as your business. So thank you so much.
Tabitha, it has been a real honor. Maybe we could just finish off by taking a couple of breaths together as we started.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone listening. You can connect with me at tabithapolaris.com and join our community. I am not only the host of this show, but I create fun and easy sound healing meditations to help you in your life, transform your life. They're very easy. Just relax and listen. And I use healing frequency tones and I guide you through fun imagery stories to balance your energy and transform your life. So you could check that out on my website. And I love our community and working on building some type of forum so we can all connect and communicate. So I think that might be on my website soon. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And I will see you next week for episode 50.
This is a weekly health and wellness podcast released every Tuesday. My intention is to raise the frequency of the planet, assist in your spiritual ascension, and bring awareness to the holistic lifestyle. We discuss provocative topics in the metaphysical, spiritual, and wellness fields. If you love God, Source, Love, and Light, if you're a light worker, wellness warrior, or want to live a life full of joy and peace, if you respect your physical body and want to heal our planet's environment, or if you're just curious about living a more peaceful and balanced life, this is your home. This is the Great Awakening, and it's time for us to unite. Join our community at tabythapolaris.com. You can also find me on all social media sites under that name.